I mean, is education very important to you? Henry, who was happily boasting, frowned at me when I said that. What are you on about? Graduating from a prestigious university and being hired by a large corporation, so you must be on the winning side of life, right? My husband firmly believes such a thing. So all I could do was giving him a cold look. My husband began to have a bad taste in education very much. He has changed so much that I no longer have the same feelings for him like I used to. I'm Jane, and 31 years old. I've been married to Henry, who is 2 years older than I am, for 3 years. We met 6 years ago at a classical music concert. Henry talked to me while we were sitting next to each other at the concert. That is how we met, and we started dating. We went to classical music concerts together for 3 years before getting married, as it was mutual interest. It has been for 3 years since we got married. Now, we rarely go out together or have casual conversations together at all. And our relationship became deteriorated rather than getting bored with each other. Hey, there is your favorite pianist concert, so shall we go together for the first time in a long time? I was tired of such cold atmosphere when we were together. So I tried to change the mood between us and invite him to the concert. He was fiddling with his phone when I was asking for the concert. Then he looked at me and snickered. You can't talk like that until you've done all the housework. I'm not going to spend a lot of money on you. Even tickets aren't free. I'll consider it when you become a little more useful for me. Okay, I'll pay for my own ticket. I still have some savings before marriage. That's not what I'm talking about. You don't understand what I mean, do you? It's no use telling you anything, because you're an idiot, aren't you? Henry is chuckling. The reason I'm not working is because Henry asked me not to have a job. Before I got married, I planned to work until I get pregnant. And I was thinking I should have kept working and could have cooperated with each other. However, Henry is the one who asked me to stay home and do all the housework because he could earn enough money for both of us. Henry asked me to quit my job. Maybe because there's always been a stereotype in him about housewife. Man works and woman stays at home. Or he was proud of himself too much. I prioritized my time to look after our child and quit my job. Henry looked down on me although he asked me to quit my job. I knew I should have married to a wife who was as intelligent as I was. I am no comparison to you, so I feel tired even talking to you. Henry's being sarcastic. He's graduated from Tokyo University and works for a large corporation. He's too snobbish. You and I have too much difference in educational background, so I am too good for you. Henry repeated such a thing at every opportunity. I like that pianist and want to go to the concert, but I am unable to accompany you. I will go there alone if I decided to attend. Why? Before marriage, we used to go there together all the time. You'd understand me, wouldn't you? Just because we lived together for years, it doesn't mean you deserve me. What the heck? Isn't that correct? You should be grateful that I am supporting you, who did not even graduate from a good university. Get out if you have a complaint. As soon as Henry said that, he went back to his bedroom. Why can't we get along with each other? As I recall, he was being caring for about half a year after we got married. He was rather humble, not bragging about himself. After I quit my job, I felt increasingly isolated from society and appeared that we are gradually growing apart very much. 2 weeks later, I went to the concert alone because I had already booked 2 tickets. Henry had turned me down in a terrible way, but I admired this pianist. I was feeling a little empty, but all of the pieces were fantastic, and I was still basking in the afterglow after the concert. I noticed a familiar figure in the crowd as I was walking toward the exit to leave the venue with a good feeling. It must be Henry. He was at the concert, wasn't he? Henry's company has flexible work hours, so his presence here was not surprising. The strange thing was Henry was not alone. He was holding women's hands, who I do not know, while walking. The way their faces were very close while talking and smiling at each other could indicate that they were a couple. I decided to blend in with the crowd and follow Henry. They exited the venue and entered a lovely restaurant nearby. After a while, I received a text message from Henry. "Overtime work tonight. I don't need dinner." The message was brief, stating only the facts. He is, however, dining with another woman. His attitude was far different from usual, unlike being cold and looking down on me. However, this explains changes in Henry's personality. He must have been cheating on me previously, and I must have been in the way. Do you want me to give up my job in order to do all the housework? He takes away my freedom and destroys the family on his own, doesn't he? I was spontaneously flying off the handle. The two appeared to finish their dinner and they were walking toward the hotel to enter. I was super shocked about it and unable to think clearly when I got home. I was naturally getting tears in my eyes due to anger as soon as I entered my room, and I could not stop crying. I researched a variety of topics in order to make our lives more comfortable, including healthy cooking and efficient cleaning methods. I was told I couldn't do anything by Henry, but I was still trying to support him. However, no matter how hard I tried, it was a waste of energy for him. I couldn't understand what was going on in my head because I was devastated, frustrated, or angry. I couldn't fall asleep at all. When it was getting brighter outside in the early morning, I heard a noise that Henry just got home. "Welcome home." "You're very late today." "Oh, wow, you were still awake." "I was simply wide awake tonight." "Didn't you take a nap, did you? That's why you couldn't sleep, right? Housewife would be carefree, and you can just relax at home because I only go to work. You probably have no idea how I feel about working until this late." Henry told lies to me while he was taking off his suit. Many co-workers are counting on me because I have an undergraduate degree from Tokyo University, so I am very busy. Nonetheless, my colleagues are smart as well, and they work smoothly and efficiently. Yeah? On the other hand, you are not as intelligent as they are. You're only graduated from unknown college, and you're boring to talk to. Do you truly believe that academic background is the most important thing? Henry, who was happily boasting, frowned at me when I said that. Of course, I was very proud of myself. I graduated from a prestigious university join a large corporation, and work with high-level executives. I must be one of the winners in life that everyone would think of. Are you jealous with me? No, I'm not. I don't want to judge people based on their academic backgrounds. I believe that there is something which would be more important than a degree. Well, isn't it true that you're also one of them? When it comes to people who do not have a degree, they say education is irrelevant. And who are pretty poor, they say money is irrelevant, huh? I hate it. Like losers have bigger mouths. Isn't the University of Tokyo the top university only in Japan, is it? There are several universities around the world that are even better. Why are you quibbling over those pointless details? Only people who were graduated from more famous universities than I was can say that. Really? I wanted to have a relationship with you regardless of my academic credentials. I told you that I went to university which was closer to my house, but the truth is, I am a Cambridge University graduate. What? Henry was stopped, a stunned expression on his face, and then burst out laughing in a truly hilarious manner. You can't be that stupid to have your academic credentials. That is called into question. How dare you say Cambridge up on the spur of the moment? Henry didn't seem to believe me at all, so I showed him a photograph which I brought from my room. It was a photograph of the university's graduation ceremony. He stopped laughing as soon as he saw the picture and stared at it. Oh, is this... Hey, do you believe me? I have had more famed university degree than you. And I know you look down on me as a housewife, but I was also working from home and have a business with Europeans nowadays. I earn more money than you do. What's that? You did it all by yourself? Henry sweats on his forehead. You wouldn't let me do it if I told you, would you? You have too much pride that will be meaningless. You're like a child. If you are not the best, you won't be able to relax. Have you been looking down on me all the time, haven't you? I am not like you. I kept it secret because I didn't want to create a hierarchical relationship between us by academic background and/or income. I simply desired a normal marriage life. I was not intending to choose a marriage partner based on educational background, and I just fell in love with you, who were graduated from Tokyo University. But you were always mentioning academic backgrounds whenever you talk to me. Educational background is not everything. That was something that I would have wished to know before the marriage, so I wouldn't have got married to such a person like you. Henry was embarrassed and became silent after I told him everything. I did not mean to go this far, but I couldn't be with Henry any longer because I was offended by his prejudice very much. That is why I made a decision to tell him everything. I'm exhausted from work, and you stayed up all night just to talk to me about it? Work? Is it your responsibility to go to a concert with another girl, have dinner at a fancy restaurant, and stay over in a hotel? You were being extremely busy, weren't you? Why did you know? I also went to the same concert yesterday, and I saw you with a girl holding hands. You are very intelligent, but so careless. Were you so foolish that you couldn't imagine someone watching you? Henry's face is quickly getting blushed. Henry raised his head and glared at me after a few seconds of silence. You're right. I had a date with another girl. Unlike you, she is not only attractive but also respects me. And she's the ideal partner for me because she's not mean to me. She does not make me look bad and gives me all the credit on both career and private. You are not comparison to her. You only irritate me when you're here. So if you're not going to listen to me, get out. He looks already being over me, and I was disappointed with him. I realized that he was only thinking about himself, and he didn't care about me at all. Okay, I understand. Let's get divorced. I am leaving here, so please pay me the alimony. I have solid evidence of your infidelity. Wow, you are very malicious. Sure, alimony is such a small amount. I offer you some money to pay off to end our marriage. It is nothing because I will be completely free from you. I decided to say one more thing to Henry before he returned to his room. Is she your colleague, isn't she? Because you told me that she gives you all the credit on both career and private. So what? You have a mistress in your company, huh? Trustworthiness is essential in a large corporation, so I believe the president of the company would ask you to respond to your mistake. He came closer to me again after he heard what I said. He seems frustrated. Don't be a fool. There are thousands of employees in the company, so the president would not take it seriously. Oh, well, I often have lunch with the president of your company. What are you saying? I am friend with the president of Henry's company in my business. Recently, the president has started focusing on foreign transactions. Therefore, he has partnered with a marketing firm in overseas. I was the one who introduced the marketing firm to the president. Of course, I'm still acting as an intermediary. Of course, he is aware that I am married to one of his subordinates. However, I did not tell him about side job, and I asked the president to keep secret about our business relationship because I didn't want him to be treated differently. You're lying, aren't you? Why should I lie? I'm going to tell everything what we talked about today to your boss. Wait a minute. Do you want money? I'll pay you as much as you want. In exchange, don't tell it to the company. What would happen to my life if I got fired? Whatever. You asked for it. I shook off Henry's hand and indifferently said that. I put minimal necessities in my bag. It's time for the train to start running again, and I will be able to return to my parents' house. Please give me second thought. It was entirely my fault. I am very sorry. Please do not tell anything to the company. Henry kept bothering me while I was packing my bag. Of course, I ignored everything, took my luggage, and greeted him. I'll ask a mover for the rest and bring the divorce paper with me on the day I leave. Thank you very much for everything, Mr. Elite. Wait, let's talk more again. He looked awful and grievously burst into tears when I was peeking through the door for a second. A week later, I completely moved out, and I let him sign the divorce papers to finalize our divorce. It had been 1 week since our divorce. Henry in fact appeared to be a different person. He's always afraid of something and apologizing all the time. His pride would be distracted. I didn't want to hear anything because whatever he said was not sincere. I was left feeling empty and wondering what he was sorry about. 3 days later, I had dinner with the president of his company. I told him what had happened. Henry was being treated like a nuisance in the company, but the president told me. He checks subordinates out and distributes too much work and makes sarcastic remarks to someone who he dislikes. On the other hand, the president told me that Henry cares one of the junior colleagues very much. Then I asked him to show me the picture of her, and I discovered that the girl with whom Henry has an affair. The president decided to call Henry and the girl the next day since he heard my story. When the president questioned them heavily, they apparently admitted the guilt. Rumor was spread out through the company on that day, and people sneered at them. Eventually, the two could not deal with it and resigned from the company. The two, who were supposed to be the best friends, but started blaming each other and broke up. Henry and his partner have only the alimony that I had asked. In contrast, my business was doing better than I expected, so I decided to take it more seriously. I rented a small office space in Tokyo. I felt bright and kicked off a new start with it. I am still keeping in touch with the president. He has been extremely helpful in delegating his employees for me. I'm sure I will face hardship, but I've made a great connection. I want to value the relationships I have while I start a brand new life without being humble.